beginning, were the first 5-10 minutes actually exactly what you wanted?
I think first half we played very well. Let's say the game plan went on how we wanted, and we defended very good, closing the spaces, getting into the press, keeping away from the own goal. And they almost didn't create one big save from Andre in that start, but I think on that point already we had our opportunities from 2-3 great breaks, and just we had to take benefit from it.
Yeah, is that a familiar tale this season? Winning those regains, creating those transitions, but not making enough of them.
No, that's true. We have to take more from it, but then also the penalty is changing the game.
Okay, what did you think of that penalty?
I don't have a comment on that.
Okay, but is it Højlund's mistake? Does he lose his man, or is that one that if we gave all of those from a free kick and corner, we'd be giving 2 or 3 penalties every match?
I don't have a comment.
Okay. Your change at half-time with Mason Mount coming on, what was the thinking?
To come more offensive. We are losing the game, and do it straight on after half-time. You expect, you have to go more offensive, and we did it by getting Christian Eriksen off the left side, go quicker up to Alvarez, pushing, and then with Mason Mount an extra offensive power to get into the game, to change the game.
Yeah. Did you lose some midfield stability though from that change?
Absolutely, and so our game plan. First half we were very disciplined, and then you see how successful you can be. But second half we make there on the second goal, we make a mistake. We make a wrong decision by going up to the keeper in the wrong moment and not recover quick. And then they get into the game. They get power in the midfield. They can switch the play. Players coming in wrong positions, and they make a great goal. But it started with us by making a wrong decision, not any more shape, and then they will outplay you.
So in hindsight, do you regret that half-time substitution?
You can't say that because we had to, because we had to create, and because we are losing the game, and you can then wait, clear. But also when you have Mason Mount on the bench, you can expect some creativity.
You made a couple of changes later on in the second half as well. Boos when Rasmus Højlund was taken off. Can you explain that decision for us?
Rasmus Højlund is playing every game, and he's not used to it. And against a City, the front players have to work very hard to get the press on. So you have to protect those players then as well. And for the team, you have to protect them as well to bring new energy on the pitch.
So you were happy first 5-10 minutes, happy actually first half, but really disappointed with the control they took of the game second half?
No, you can't say that like this, because the game plan was good, but it's changing the game, and then you are losing, and then you have to act as a manager. You have to, especially when you have a bench, then you have to use your bench, and you bring more offensive power on the pitch.
Okay, 10 games in, Erik, Premier League, over a quarter of the way through the season. You've lost half of those Premier League games. Why has it been such a difficult start to this campaign?
Yeah, but last year we were in the same situation. Also after the game against City. So we have to forget this game and recover next game, Wednesday.
Okay. And I suppose, was it 15 months in the job? The job is catch Man City in terms of points, but also in terms of style. Do you feel closer to Manchester City than you were when you began the job?
So first half was good. We make them very difficult, and the chances were similar. And then they got the first goal, and then second half, that was not the way we have to act. Also, I can accept that. But I think if you see, oversee all 3 games, we played very well against them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we'll talk about that bigger picture, about the 3 games that Manchester United have played against City in the calendar year. But in terms of Ten Hag's assessment of this game, where he said it was a decent first half, but you felt he needed to maybe use his bench and get a bit more attacking power on the pitch. Do you think that was the right assessment? Do you agree with it? Do you agree with the decision, the tactical decisions?
I think I agree with what you said about the fact the first half wasn't that bad, and I thought it was okay, and I thought the defensive side of things were fine, and City did, struggle to create openings, and they got the goal, which was, I think, was a soft penalty personally, but it is what it is. But I was asking the question as soon as the substitution was made. When I saw McTominay alongside Eriksen in midfield, I thought that was brave, if not a little bit reckless. I didn't think it would work, and I thought Amrabat must have been injured, but we just had it confirmed to us that he wasn't injured. So I don't think it was a great day for his substitutions. I think his substitutions last season were amazing, and every time he made substitutions, it improved the team's performance. I thought today, actually, the substitutions made the team's performance worse and opened them up more. So I didn't think it was a great day, but I'm in the camp of, I think I've seen this now 4 or 5 managers down the line of basically second season, third season where they really struggle. And we end up rinse, repeat, exactly the same things happen again, where we start talking about the same stuff. No one's been able to unlock Manchester City. The performances of Manchester United and City have not been good. They haven't been good. I was at the cup final, sat there with 90,000 other people. The performance wasn't good by Manchester United. That performance in the second half today, to be honest with you, was appalling. And to be fair, I think Amrabat coming off emptied midfield. I don't think that was the right assessment of that particular performance. But my anger isn't with Erik Ten Hag. I don't believe he's the fundamental cause of this problem.
I get what you're saying in terms of, rinse, repeat, different managers and stuff like that. But we're now into the second season. And we'd all say, it went well last season from where Manchester United were. But none of us here can still explain what Manchester United try to do in terms of how they play. He's been here now, nearly 18 months. We've seen Unai Emery come in at Aston Villa. We've seen Postecoglou come in now at Tottenham in a very short space of time. Now, that doesn't mean you win every week, but when you go to the games, you know what you're going to see. We still don't know what you're going to see with Manchester United. You tell me how they play with the ball.
No, Karen, and look, to be honest with you, I can't disagree with you. Those managers that you're talking about coming into stable environments, they've currently got over their heads a guy all over the news going to own 25% that's going to basically come out and
Why
will you not listen? Why do I have to listen to you but you won't listen to me?
Come on.
Right. So basically, you imagine you're in a business, you're in a football club, and the news is that there's a guy going to come in and basically wipe out the whole football department. You imagine what's going on inside that football department at this moment in time, in and around Erik Ten Hag? It is toxic and embedded negativity. They all think they're all going to lose their jobs. I know you can say carry on with it, they're professional, but you imagine what's happening. Jim Ratcliffe's going to come in with Dave Brailsford. They're going to sweep out the football department. They're all going to get moved away. That's what's happening. I honestly believe this toxicity that exists at this club, and has done for years, by the way, it just eats alive every manager that comes and every player that comes.
Okay.
So Harry Maguire was going to go to Manchester City. Mason Mount was going to go to Liverpool. They come here and it's a graveyard for them. Are we going to keep blaming the kids in the class?
No.
Are we going to blame the head teacher?
Okay, so we can't analyse anything Erik Ten Hag does or any performance from Manchester United.
I've just said substitutions were poor today.
Okay, but what I'm saying is everything goes back to the ownership. Of course, it's not right. The supporters are not happy. But what you're talking about is a style of football. What he's doing on the training pitch Monday to Friday every day has got nothing to do with Jim Ratcliffe coming in. What does he want those players to do? Right. When they're building up from the back and we see every top team in the league do it, what are Manchester United trying to do with the ball? They're playing underdog football, and they have done since he come in. Gary, let me finish. You just spoke before. They play counter-attack and they play a lot of long balls. No other top team plays like that. That's nothing to do with what's going on above him. What is he doing on the training pitch? Players he brings in, and what's he asking the team to do?
Karen,
you can't see it.
Karen, I completely agree with you. They've allowed another manager to dictate policy, and the tail wagged the dog on recruitment. They brought 8 players in from basically a league that Erik Ten Hag thinks he trusts players. And they did the same with Ole, the same with Jose in midfield. So he's got 3 players who fundamentally are his connection from defence.
Casemiro's one of the worst decisions they made.
No, what I'm saying to you is those players, they'll help them play from the back. Well, obviously, I don't like the football at all. I have no idea what the repeated patterns are that they're trying to put in place. But the bigger picture of Manchester United is that we've seen great managers with great reputations and great players with great reputations come here and just die in front of our eyes. Why is that? How do we answer that question?
Do you know how Erik Ten Hag is trying to play at Manchester United?
No, not really. I'd have to agree with what's been said. It's obviously a difficult watch. It's been a struggle. Obviously, the expectations last year was can he get in the hand of the trophy and get top 4, which he managed to do. But this year has definitely been a problem. Again, we go back to recruitment's huge at a football club. Of course it is. And there's too many players who've come to the club over the last 18 months, 2 years, who've not been good enough. And obviously, we're well aware that Man United, whatever the price involved, United always seem to have to pay over the top, which seems to be part of the package. The concern is obviously Ten Hag's brought players in that he's obviously worked with, and you think he'd know them a bit better and their characters, but they've come to Man United and it just feels a bit too much for some of them. We can analyse the game today in terms of the physicality, the midfield. They're like children out there. They haven't got that physical presence to get around the park. And too many of the players who've come in for the fees involved haven't done the business.
Just on the point about them being players who've played under Ten Hag and have come from Eredivisie, there are 8 players in that group who have Eredivisie experience, maybe haven't come directly from there, but that has been part of their football progress.
That goes back to what Gary said before, and he's right. Sometimes when we talk about the top at Manchester United, I think there's sometimes this feeling around Manchester United that the manager doesn't get what he wants. Gary's right. I think the manager, you get too much power. What's going to happen when Erik Ten Hag moves on? You've still got, all that sort of group of players. They're sort of embedded with him. And when I say I'm more critical of the managers, I got to go back to last summer. And I know Casemiro did well at times last season, but I go back to that. Signing him and Eriksen was not things that a top football club in their position should be doing. They're at the end of their careers. They've had to replace them already with Mason Mount and Amrabat, and we're questioning whether they're good enough. So 12 months later, they're replacing players they bought 12 months before. That's just not joined up thinking at a top football club.
I think when things aren't right at a club, I think one bad decision seems to follow another. We've seen the other clubs. And Man United were doing it great. Maybe if you look back 10, 15 years ago, and they'll get a lot of credit for it. Obviously, the manager there, Ferguson, you David Gill, who will get a lot of plaudits for the structure of the club. But now it seems to be, obviously, chaos. Obviously at board level, which there is, we know, and they're taking that onto the pitch.
Go on. Sorry, mate. What about the decision? I feel like I'm just attacking Erik Ten Hag. But a big decision he's made captain. Bruno Fernandes should not be a captain. We're sat here with 2 Manchester United captains.
The first thing I would do
is a captain for Manchester United.
After today, I haven't watched him again. Obviously, I would definitely take the captaincy off him, 100%. I know it's a big decision, obviously, to change the captaincy with Maguire. Fernandes is not captain material. I think he's a talent. But what I saw today with him again, I know we've discussed this many times before, was at Liverpool last year. His whinging, his moaning, his throwing his arms up in the air constantly. It really isn't accepting. What we saw today, I'm thinking, I would take that off him. Because I think you have to start somewhere. You're talking about where do you make change? You're talking about board level, managers. I would start at that because the manager is capable of doing that. And hold his hand up and say, listen, I got it wrong. Fernandes is a brilliant footballer. In terms of captain material, he's the opposite to what I would want in a captain.
I think it all goes back to what Kara said, is how Man United going to play. We've seen the signings there. So, and I don't want to bring City into this, but Man City signed players for a style of play. The players that we've seen that Man United have signed, we don't know where they're going to fit in. So you've got Højlund, who's an excellent footballer, but he's playing with wingers who want to come inside and shoot. So how is he supposed to get the chemistry with the players he has alongside him? Then you go into midfield, which the guys have talked about. Are you playing with 2 holders? Are you playing with 1? If a sub comes in, does he know what job to do? And then you look at the back 4. It was always going to be difficult for Man United today because of the back 4. Evans is similar to my age, obviously coming from Leicester. He's had his injuries. And I just think for Man United to be in this position now, after money they have spent, it doesn't matter. You can have whatever manager you want. You need to have.
Mike, you make a good point. I think if you